Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The world's power dynamics are shifting in ways we haven't seen in decades, as new alliances and partnerships reshape the global landscape. At the heart of this transformation is BRICS, a coalition that's rapidly becoming a central player in international affairs. BRICS, originally made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, was formed to unite some of the world's fastest-growing economies. These countries, each with their own unique strengths and challenges, came together to amplify their influence on the world stage. In recent years, BRICS has expanded its reach, welcoming new members like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates. This expansion has transformed BRICS from a regional bloc into a truly global force, representing a diverse range of cultures, economies, and political systems. Today, BRICS countries account for a staggering portion of the world's population, over 40%, and a significant share of global economic output. This collective power directly challenges the long-standing dominance of Western nations in international affairs. But BRICS is more than just an economic powerhouse. It's a political alliance with a mission: to give developing nations a stronger voice in shaping the rules and institutions that govern the world. By working together, BRICS members aim to create a more inclusive and equitable global system. For much of modern history, global decisions were made by a handful of Western powers, often through exclusive groups like the G7. BRICS offers a compelling alternative, providing a platform for emerging economies to collaborate and influence global policy. To support its ambitions, BRICS is building its own financial infrastructure. The new development bank, for example, funds projects across member countries, reducing dependence on Western-dominated institutions like the IMF and World Bank. This move is reshaping how development and investment happen worldwide. As a result, BRICS has become increasingly attractive to countries that feel left out or marginalized by the current global order. Many nations are now looking to BRICS as a partner that understands their needs and aspirations. The group's influence is expanding beyond economics and finance. BRICS is tackling major global challenges, from trade negotiations and technological innovation to climate change and sustainable development. Its members are working together to find solutions that reflect the interests of the broader global community. By pooling their resources and expertise, BRICS members are able to achieve far more together than they could individually. This spirit of collaboration is at the core of the group's growing strength and appeal. The rise of BRICS marks a significant turning point in international relations. As new power centers emerge, the traditional balance of power is being redefined, opening up opportunities for more countries to participate in global decision-making. With its recent expansion, BRICS now brings together an even broader coalition of nations, representing a wide array of perspectives and interests. This means that more of the world is working together outside the traditional Western framework, forging new paths for cooperation and progress. As BRICS continues to grow and evolve, understanding its role is essential for anyone who wants to make sense of today's rapidly changing global landscape. The group's actions and decisions will shape the future of international politics, economics, and diplomacy. Ultimately, the story of BRICS is the story of new powers rising, old systems adapting, and the ongoing quest for a more balanced and inclusive world order, one where every nation has a seat at the table. Turkey has officially expressed interest in joining BRICS, a move that's turning heads worldwide. As a long-standing NATO member, Turkey's bid is unprecedented, especially since BRICS includes rivals like Russia and China. This signals Turkey's ambition to look beyond its traditional Western alliances. For decades, Turkey was a bridge between Europe and the Middle East, but now it's challenging old geopolitical boundaries. Turkey's pivot reflects a global trend. Countries are building diverse partnerships to maximize their interests. Hungary, another EU and NATO member, is also showing signs of leaning toward BRICS, highlighting growing frustration with the Western-led order. This eastward shift could force NATO and the EU to rethink their unity and future direction. Turkey's growing interest in joining BRICS is deeply rooted in years of mounting frustration with the European Union. For decades, Turkey has aspired to become a full member of the EU, hoping for closer economic ties, political cooperation, and a sense of belonging within Europe. However, these hopes have been repeatedly dashed. Turkey's EU membership talks have dragged on for over 30 years, marked by endless negotiations, shifting goalposts, and a lack of meaningful progress. Each new round of talks has brought fresh promises, but also new obstacles, leading to growing disillusionment among Turkish leaders and citizens alike. Many ordinary Turks now feel that the EU's promises are empty, and the constant delays have soured public opinion. Protests and public debates reflect a widespread sense of betrayal, as people question whether the EU ever truly intended to welcome Turkey as an equal partner. Strict EU requirements, ever-changing regulations, and open resistance from some influential member states have made Turkey feel increasingly unwelcome at the European table. The sense of exclusion is palpable. Key benefits that were once promised, such as visa-free travel for Turkish citizens and an upgraded customs union, have never materialized. This has deepened mistrust and left many Turks feeling isolated from the rest of Europe. As a result, Turkey has increasingly looked beyond the EU, seeking out new alliances and partnerships where it is treated with respect and as an equal. This search for alternatives has become a central part of Turkey's foreign policy. The stalled EU accession process has now become a catalyst for Turkey's pivot toward BRICS, a group that offers a different model of international cooperation. Unlike the EU, BRICS is built on mutual interests and pragmatic partnerships, rather than rigid political values or endless preconditions. This approach is appealing to Turkey, which seeks to expand its influence and secure its interests on the global stage. For Turkey, joining BRICS represents not just a strategic shift, but also a chance to gain the respect, recognition, and influence it has long sought in international affairs. Under President Erdogan, Turkey is charting a more independent foreign policy. No longer content as a junior Western partner, Turkey sees itself as a regional power with unique interests. Its strategic location lets it engage with both NATO allies and Eastern powers like Russia and China. Frustrated by Western constraints, Turkey is diversifying partnerships for greater autonomy. This is evident in its purchase of Russian missile systems and its mediation in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Pursuing BRICS membership fits Turkey's goal of being a global connector, not just a Western ally. By joining BRICS, Turkey isn't abandoning the West, it's expanding its diplomatic toolkit. This strategy boosts Turkey's influence and ensures its voice is heard in shaping the future. For Turkey, BRICS membership promises major economic and diplomatic rewards. Access to vast, fast-growing markets would boost Turkish trade and attract investment. BRICS' new development bank offers alternative financing for infrastructure and development, with fewer strings attached. Membership would amplify Turkey's voice on global issues and strengthen its role as a regional leader. The expanded, more diverse BRICS bloc aligns with Turkey's vision for a multipolar world. It's a chance to join a movement demanding a fairer global system. For Turkey, it's about more choices, more control, and greater independence. BRICS offers a path to growth and influence outside the traditional Western framework. Turkey's BRICS bid is a masterclass in balancing East and West. As a NATO member and EU candidate, Turkey has deep Western ties it can't easily abandon. Yet it's building strong partnerships with Russia and China, aiming to be a bridge between worlds. This balancing act creates friction. Turkey's independent moves have already raised concerns in NATO and the EU. Western allies worry about Turkey drifting from shared values, but Ankara sees flexibility as vital. By engaging both BRICS and the West, Turkey hopes to maximize opportunities and minimize risks. The goal maintains security guarantees from NATO while benefiting from BRICS's growth. It's a complex, sometimes contradictory path, but Turkey is betting it can belong to both camps. Success depends on managing expectations and keeping all partners engaged. Some see Turkey's BRICS interest as a strategic move to gain leverage over the West. By flirting with BRICS, Turkey signals to the EU and US, "Don't take us for granted." It's a way to pressure Brussels for better terms on trade, investment, and visa-free travel. But this tactic is risky. Turkey could alienate its traditional allies and face greater mistrust. The West can't afford to lose Turkey, but pushing too hard could backfire for Ankara. Turkey's gamble is that its strategic importance lets it play both sides. Whether this pays off depends on how the EU and NATO respond. It's a delicate game of negotiation, with high stakes for all involved. Turkey's recent move to engage with BRICS is not just a diplomatic maneuver, it's part of a much larger transformation happening on the world stage. We are witnessing the rise of multipolarity, a shift that is fundamentally changing how global power is distributed and exercised. The era when a single superpower dominated international affairs is gradually fading into history. Today, influence and decision-making are increasingly shared among a diverse group of nations, each bringing their own perspectives and interests to the table. This new reality is reshaping the way countries interact and cooperate. Alliances like BRICS are gaining momentum, offering alternatives to the traditional Western-led institutions that have long set the rules of the game. These emerging coalitions are creating new platforms for dialogue, trade, and cooperation, challenging the old order and giving voice to countries that were previously on the sidelines. More and more nations are demanding a greater role in shaping global governance. The recent expansion of BRICS is a clear reflection of this growing desire for inclusivity and representation. Countries want to ensure their interests are heard and respected on the world stage. For Turkey, adapting to this rapidly evolving landscape is not just a strategic choice, it's a necessity. Relying solely on one alliance or bloc is no longer a viable option in a world where power is more dispersed and alliances are constantly shifting. By engaging actively with both NATO and BRICS, Turkey is positioning itself to safeguard its national interests while also expanding its influence. This dual approach allows Turkey to remain flexible, responsive, and relevant in a world where old certainties are giving way to new realities. The boundaries between allies and rivals are becoming less clear. Flexible, pragmatic partnerships are now the norm, as countries seek to maximize their opportunities and minimize risks in an unpredictable environment. International relations have become more complex than ever before, but this complexity also brings dynamism and the potential for creative solutions. The world is more interconnected, and new possibilities for cooperation are constantly emerging. Turkey's careful balancing act, navigating between different alliances and interests, serves as a model for how nations can thrive in this new era of multipolarity. It demonstrates the importance of adaptability and strategic foresight. Ultimately, the global order is being rewritten before our eyes. New rules are emerging, new players are stepping onto the stage, and the future will be shaped by those who can adapt and lead in this dynamic environment. Turkey joining BRICS would shake up global alliances. It would be the first time a NATO member joins a bloc led by Russia and China, challenging NATO's unity. The EU would also feel the impact, as its power to attract and integrate neighbors weakens. If others follow Turkey's lead, Europe could become more fragmented. The world will watch how BRICS, NATO, and the EU respond. Will they compete, cooperate, or clash? Turkey's move is a symbol of shifting power and the rise of new global alliances. In this new era, the old rules no longer apply, and everyone must adapt.